Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back, it's Jordan here. Today we're going to continue working on the Lego City. In order to do that, I need more road plates. Luckily for me, somebody reached out to me and said, hey, I've got a bunch of road plates. I was wondering if you wanted to buy them. I was like, well, wait a minute, what kind of road plates? He's like, road plates, like the ones in your city. I'm like, what? What do you mean the ones in my city? He's like, yeah, they're like custom built the exact same way with the sidewalks and everything. And I've got about 30 of them. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is perfect. So the first thing we're gonna do is go pick those up and then we can continue working on the city. Also, I have to go to a hardware store and get some more hardware for securing these tables. I need some more of those metal fasteners, whether they're the long ones like that are rectangular, square ones, maybe some like corner bracket ones, like right angle ones, just for securing all of this melamine and making sure that it's all flush and, you know, looks good. So I've got to get a couple things, roads and metal fasteners, and I'm sure there's a bunch of other stuff that I need to get, but that's what we're going to start with today. And then we can continue working on this layout. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of white surface that needs to be covered. I'm so happy with the direction that we're heading. I was also measuring this open space here, which is huge. And I've got a few ideas in regards to that. Maybe we can start like taping out some potential table layouts. I think that'd be a good idea. Trying to figure out what we're going to do with this open space. I want to do something different. I don't think I should just extend what we have going because that's a lot, you know. I think it needs to be something different over here in these open spots, specifically the mansion, and I've got some other ideas as well. We'll share those later on in this video. But let's get started. Let's go grab some roads and some hardware. I find myself at Canadian Tire, and I'm actually checking out stools and creepers. There's been a lot of people who've been suggesting a creeper because, of course, I've got to crawl to access the different points in the Lego City. So I checked their website, and I managed to find something that's going to be tremendously helpful, and my knees are going to thank me for it. And it's this right here. Look at that. It's like a little creeper for the knees. Just put your knees in there. It's got wheels. You can slide around. That's only 40 bucks, so I'm definitely gonna pick that up. Also, I've been meaning to get one of these for quite some time. It's just a little mini air compressor that I can use to inflate the tires in my vehicle. Also, I'm getting myself a new pool. Here's the metal fasteners. So I got 10 of the corners. Those are gonna be great for inside the pop-up holes. In some sections, there's 3 pieces of wood that connect, and this will be just great to go around the corner and sort of hold it all together. And then I got a bunch of these, there's 20 of them, and I can use these anywhere that there's this scenario in combination with shimming this piece up. Just put that there, boom, screw it together. Should be good to go. Just reinforce that a bit there. I bought the right size screws, 100 of them, plus I have a bunch more in my toolkit. And also, I picked up all the road plates. 30 road plates. So these 2 stacks right here are all straight, and they're built like mine, which is super cool. The only thing they lack is the Technic bricks built into the sidewalk with the 1x2s to hold that in, but that's an easy modification. But look at that. They're tiled. They've got a bunch of jumpers for positioning minifigs. They're raised up to the proper height. It is just perfect. Super exciting. There's also some modified ones right here with the like pull-ins for garages. So that's cool. I actually like this technique with the curved slopes. That's neat. I haven't really done that before. And then there's 2 half road plates as well, which is great for filling in all the weird random gaps. Then I've got one like standard corner here that's like a right angle. And then there's the one with the meridian in the middle. So there's 2 of those. And then there are some curves over here. These are like my curves. Just the plate work here has to be modified a little bit to match mine perfectly. They've got 4 of those, which is awesome, and then 1 T intersection as well. So they're pretty much exactly what I use. It's gonna save me a bunch of time, like a bunch of labor, and I don't have to source all of these parts. They're all built. Like that is just a huge help right now. Oh my gosh, when you consider how many roads like how many new additional roads I'm gonna need to connect all these different parts of the city. Sure, they're not all gonna be like straight roads and standard ones like this. I wanna do some roads at like interesting angles, and I also wanna do different types of roads like countryside roads, gravel roads, etc. But it's a huge help having all of those ready to go for this layout. So thank you so much to the gentleman. Big shout out to him for reaching out to me. I highly appreciate it. It's gonna come in super handy for when it comes to constructing this city.
May as well test this thing out as well. Look at that. That's gonna save the knees a lot of grief. Coming at ya. That's awesome.
Perfect. I filmed the intro for this video last night, and I took care of all that business this morning. During the intro, I was talking about these tables. I don't know if it's worth taping them out right now and even thinking about it, because we've got so much stuff to do in the city. But what I'm leaning toward, it would fit quite nicely actually, is 2 separate islands that are 7 by 7 base plates. One right there, one right there. We got the cleanup crew on site here, but yeah, I'm thinking 1, 2 islands that are 7 by 7 base plates. I'll be able to walk around each one 360 degrees. Might be pretty sweet. But why like start constructing that and start planning that out when I've got this huge table over here that needs my full attention? I'm thinking I should work on the downtown core today. And I really like the way that it's heading. I have got all those roads now, so I can start, you know, mapping out the roads and mapping out the train track as well, start locking things in place to try and get that nice square dimension. But I was also thinking to myself, it might be nice to extend this water, which of course is the lowest point, sea level, all the way across the front here. And maybe that's where the boatyard should go. And there should just be more water, and maybe that can, like, you know, lead into some sort of canal or river that's flowing through the center of the Lego city. That might be pretty cool. You know, if a river came through and that connected to a waterfall coming off the mountain in the future, just to sort of break this up a bit, make it look a little bit different. Maybe get rid of some of the road so that there's a river coming through, and then there's like sidewalk on each side of the river and modular buildings. So rather than having all gray road and vehicles, we could have some sort of canal flowing through the Lego city and connecting to the water up front here. That would be pretty sweet. And of course, there's going to be millions of little changes and ideas that I come up with as I go through this process of creating this new massive Lego city. But I think I like that idea of having the water spanning across the front and having some of it going through the downtown, connecting to other bodies of water throughout the entire city. I had something similar to that in my old Lego city. For example, the ocean connected to the creek, which flowed through the campground and came down from the Ninjago Mountain. And then it did carry on from the Lion Knight's Castle, flow down here, and then remember it went down a waterfall, which was actually the Mountain View Observatory, and flowed into the creek by the campground, or by the farm, sorry, and eventually led into the canal where we had the Venetian houses. So yeah, I'm thinking that's a pretty solid plan, but my top priority here today is to start laying roads, laying base plates, laying train track, and start actually locking that stuff in so we can start to lock in base plates and get some sort of structure going here on the tabletops. First things first, got to get the supplies. I whipped out my table, which is on wheels there, and I loaded it full of base plates and also 2x4 bricks, which I'm going to use to tack all of those base plates together. Going to move the modular buildings in the road back 1 base plate, and that's going to allow me to put the water stretching across the entire front of the table. I just think that's going to be pretty cool. And then there is the half base plate that's going to be allocated to the train track. I'll most likely be switching the train track. I don't think the position is going to change, but I think the style of it is going to change just to better match the downtown. Now, the train track isn't going to do the whole perimeter of the city. Like, it's not going to go around the perimeter. That's how I used to do things, but I am going to make it a little bit more interesting with this layout. So I just got to go around and reallocate all of the road plates, use all those new road plates, and tack them together and just sort of try and get a nice grid going so that I can get things square. That's my goal. Using a combination of the new road plates that I acquired, the road plates that were here, and I also had a box that had some miscellaneous road plates in it as well. We have like just enough for the downtown area, but we're probably gonna have to build some more. Good thing I've got a ton of sealed road plate packs. Now the modular grid is looking pretty good. It's locked together quite well. However, the road plates, they don't make any sense, but I'll adjust those one by one. And that's why I locked them in using the 2x4 bricks, just because when you lock them in using the tiles, you can't pop those tiles out very easily. But now I can just pull the 2x4 bricks off, and it's gonna make it a lot easier when I go around and actually start finalizing. Well, I guess finalizing is not the term to use, but when I start working on modifying all of these road plates so that they accommodate the city. Of course, there are road plates here that are designed for specific modular buildings. For example, this one has like a driveway pole and whatever. So I'll try to go around and put those all together, and I'll try to group all of the bicycle lanes so that they all make sense. But there's no sense in doing that right now, because my goal is to try and get as much stuff laid out on this huge table system so that we can actually start squaring everything off. So this area here is pretty much done. It does match up quite nicely with the table cuts, so it goes right from edge to edge. Of course, I don't know that edge. Actually, yeah, I do. I think it goes right edge to edge because it lines up here. So I straighten that, and then it goes right to the edge over here. So that dimension is pretty much perfect. So that goal has been achieved. And then here we can try and see if it's lining up as well. Specifically with this table gap, that's going to be hard to read because that's a half base plate right there, but you can see 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 studs. So it's pretty much right on. I guess it can move a little bit, but that's good. And then down here, you'll see that this base plate comes right to this table gap. So it's actually lining up perfectly because these base plates connect between that table gap there. So it seems like the point of getting everything on the tables is working out and lining up with the tables. And I want to try and do as much of that as I possibly can today. So I was talking about that river there. I didn't run it through the downtown, but I put this modified road plate here with the creek flowing underneath it. What I could do is start this water here and have the river flow through the center of the table there, and I can actually have that water widen over here as well to accommodate the boatyard. So maybe this is where the boatyard's gonna go and the river can flow that way, and maybe the first lower section of mountain that I put in can be Ninjago City. So Ninjago City can be elevated a little bit, and that can be the start of the elevation in the city, maybe starting where that big, ugly table gap is, like right there. I don't know. It's just ideas at this point, but maybe that's where the mountain range can start, and then it can sort of go up from there, getting higher as we move back. But then I still need to figure out where the train yard is going to go, and also where the residential is going to go, and lock in the amusement park as well. So that's why I desperately want to use pretty much all of these base plates and just start locking them all in and locking the grid. And it'd be super cool if I had enough base plates to cover the entire surface, because then I can really start to, put things where they belong and start to map out these things. Now, this is going to seem funny at the end of this video because not a whole lot of this remains the same, but it's all part of my process, and my process is having fun with Lego. Moving things around is cool. I'm enjoying the moment. I haven't moved Lego cities around in a while. Like, I packed up my Lego city so long ago. But I'm laying all the blue base plates, also green base plates. I shifted Ninjago back, and I'm just trying to fill this area with base plates. That's my goal. I want to try and use every single base plate in my collection just to try and cover these tables with some sort of color, because White is, like the white tabletop's just not good, in my opinion. It's got to get covered with Lego ASAP. However, I'm gonna have to mill plate everything, and that is gonna be a bit of an undertaking. Holy cow, can you imagine how many parts are gonna have to go into mill plating every single one of these plates? It's wild. Starting to get some structure there, but wow, there is a lot of space. I'm not gonna have nearly enough base plates. The color of the base plates doesn't really matter. For example, everything is gonna be mill plated, and the water is gonna get covered with additional blue or black or dark blue or azure or medium azure or dark azure plate, and then covered with tile just like this. The only ones that matter are the ones on the exterior edge, because I wouldn't want to put water detail over top of a green plate. That wouldn't look good because you'd see the green plate underneath. But all of these ones, it doesn't matter. So if I want to make a large boatyard here, which I'm still leaning toward, the color of the base plate is irrelevant. I'd probably, if it's a boatyard, I'd probably cover it all in black and dark blue being that color right there, and then black because it would be deep water, and then I would cover it with trans blue tiles. And I'm thinking this would be a pretty cool spot for a boatyard. I know it's really close to the downtown core, but I don't know if Town Hall is gonna stay here, and I know for sure Central Park won't stay here. So for example, I could take Central Park and I could replace all of these modular buildings with Central Park. So I could put Central Park there or there. I could move Town Hall down here and sort of transition more of the, you know, like downtown style stuff that way, and get rid of the, I'm sorry, I'm distracted. Look who's here, they're coming to check it out. Look who just walked in the door. Look who it is. What's up, Benjamin? Hey, Millie. You guys haven't been here in a while, but we got all the Lego off the ground pretty much, so you're free to come here anytime you want now. Join me at work. Millie, Dad's at work. Wow, hey? That was conveniently timed. Don't step on those, hey. Don't step on those, please. Yeah, don't step on those. Hey, it just goes to show you how strong my roads are. Wow. That was a good test, Benjamin. The kids are going around and collecting as many minifigures as they can find. Benjamin, those are the minifigs for the mansion. Come on, man. They're sig figs, actually. You should probably leave those there, but that's all right. We know where they're at. They're in your container with your cracker. He's just got them all. He's grabbing them all. Oh, Millie's helping him out too. While the family was here, it gave me some time to think about what I'm doing over here. Like, where are things gonna go? And I was like, you know what? I probably should start to just map this out on a computer program just so I can get a better direction of where to go. Because everything's got to change, right? And it's better to be a little bit prepared at least. So I turned to Excel and I whipped up a little bit of a layout here. It's all color coordinated. So this is what we've got so far. I've decided that I'm going to put actually the boatyard where the beach is. Then I'm going to put the beach to the right so it's closer to the downtown core. You can see the train yard is going to go right by the boatyard. There's all sorts of green space. I left Ninjago where I placed it earlier. There's the downtown in yellow there. There's these 6 black holes. The amusement park is going to be condensed and put up there. The residential right there on the other side of that hole. The train will pass underneath the mountain there and connect to this line in the countryside. It will also go underneath the mountain around the perimeter there and run along the holes right there throughout the countryside and reconnect it to the train yard. So I've sort of color coordinated it. I think it's cool. It's got this large mountain range in the middle, and it leads into the Winter Village, which is technically a mountain range as well. And I think this is pretty neat. I think this is similar to the direction that I've been heading. The major change is the boatyard and the beach position. I think that's better. Also, I did some calculations on the base plate dimensions. So this is the total base plate dimension of the city, 829.5. And that's all calculated with multiplication on Excel, so that's pretty accurate. Yeah, there we go. So that's going to be the potential layout. So I've got to make some changes to the position of the beach, and it pretty much has to all be redone. But yeah, I think it makes more sense to have the boatyard and train yard right here, and then transition into the countryside, and then have that beach closer to the downtown core. So like this little boardwalk right here, it transitions into the boardwalk in the downtown section right there where I have that little bit of water. So yeah, I think that's good. I think the routes of the train track will be pretty cool. Of course, it could change, but I'm gonna have to start moving some of this up again here to try and figure it out. Also, I think the residential will work. It's just like right there where you can see my train shed. It'll go right there, sort of between the two access holes there. Sort of puts it out of the way of the amusement park and sort of tucks it away between those two access points. So I think that should work pretty well. Yeah, so just gonna go ahead and undo all the work I did in the previous time lapse. That's gonna allow me to slide over the beach. I think its position is gonna be a lot better there. And then I'm gonna start adding more water plates to the left there. And that of course is gonna be the boatyard. That thing in the center there, the Central Park, it's sort of driving me crazy. So it's time to get it out of there. And then I can start laying some of the train track and also start laying some of the 48 by 48 gray base plates after sliding some of the forest plates back, because that's going to be where the train yard is going to go. So I can actually start shaping this area and getting a very basic layout. And I'm really excited about the idea of moving the zoo. It's going to go in that center section there between downtown and the countryside. And I think that's going to be a great spot for it. There's some additional plates on the side of it that I can use for expanding the zoo. So I'm really happy with the location there. I think that's where it's going to stay. It's going to be like on the base of a mountain, and then those Ninjago modulars will be on top of the mountain behind the zoo, and we'll sort of go up from there. I'm really happy with the position of that. It could change just like anything, but I think that's cool. It's like front and center, one of the bigger mocks in my Lego City. I could just keep going and going and going and going, just changing this to no end. But I think I finally have the proper direction here. I think this is definitely going to be the way that we're going to go. I really like the position of downtown. That works. I think the beach, optimally, right beside downtown. Then we can have nice boardwalk too. So the boardwalk will be somewhat similar to the existing layout. It'll go right along here. I'm thinking on a boardwalk along this entire thing. Now, I was talking about the train track and how it's the perimeter over here specifically. So I want to change the look of the train track. Remember the train track that I used to have integrated right into the road? It was fully tiled off in dark gray. I think that'll look better than the ballast line over here. I think that makes sense. Or it could be like the raised line where it's fully tiled off in light gray. And I think that's just going to match up better with the roads. It could even be like at the same height as the road, so it almost looks like it's not, you know, like a freight line. It's more so like a passenger train line. And I think that's going to make sense spanning from like, I don't know, probably like all the way up to the zoo, coming all the way here, and then going all the way down here. And then it's going to turn and go around the amusement park. I'm sure there'll be some sort of amusement park line as well because I have the Hogwarts Express. And I also have the Disney train, so I'll have to integrate that as well. But then it's going to go underneath through these mountains here, turn here, and then connect to the line that I started installing right over here. And then there could even be another like turnoff that goes through the mountain and reconnects. Whoopsie, just kicked my buddy. Whoops, you gotta watch where I'm walking. And there will be another turnoff that goes through the mountain. So there'll be a switch track that splits right here and goes that way and goes through a tunnel that goes through the mountain. So there'll be multiple lines that connect together. So it'll sort of look really cool in the end. So the only place where it's a perimeter is right here, but then it'll sort of swerve through here. And I've got to decide how I'm going to treat this huge area right here, which is all green base plates for now. I've got some ideas for sure. There's going to have to be some sort of road system that, of course, services the zoo and also services the boatyard and train yard. So there's going to be some sort of service road coming through here. And I don't know what the road is going to look like going over there toward the campground and stuff. There might be some tunnels that pass underneath the mountain range, which is behind the zoo and supports Ninjago. And that's why I decided to put these mountains, which will have to be increased in size significantly, right there. I've sort of grouped them together. So we've got the Ninjago Mountain and also the Mountain View Observatory, which actually used to be substantially taller because the base of it, or that section of it, was on a raised platform, and the base of it is actually right there connecting to the Ninjago Mountain right now. So yeah, we'll have to construct some sort of platform and put it in there just to conserve pieces and then build up, and hopefully the mountains will be, by the end of it, probably that tall, and then curve around here. And I'm thinking the ski slope will be right here at the Winter Village on top of the mountain as well, and then this will all be countryside here. So the main change today was really the position of the boatyard. Also, well, actually just determining the fact that we're going to be putting the boatyard in the city and also the train yard of the city and moving the beach over, and also the repositioning of the zoo. And I just think that things are coming along great. That took me all day. I don't know how many days it's going to take me to complete the rough draft. This is what I want to do first, is I want to take care of the rough draft, and then I can actually start building Lego. There's no point in building massive mountains or campground plates or mills plates or expanding the zoo or making the water or anything. There's no point in doing anything until I get the rough draft done. So it's going to take, I don't know, a couple weeks, honestly. Like, this is what I've managed to do in two days. So it's quite a bit, but it's just all part of the process of having a massive Lego city. Like, this is wild. I remember it was the same way when we moved from the original Lego room to the place where I currently live in the basement. It took me like years. It took me from 2020 until 2023, so 3 years, to fully develop that city. And just getting the basic layout is always the first thing that I want to do. That spreadsheet definitely helped me out today, and I'm glad that we were able to fix up these roads and get sort of somewhat of a concrete idea as to what the layout is going to be. There you go, everybody. Let me know what you think by commenting below. Please remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for some more great stuff coming out in the near future. Farewell.